What's going on, guys? Jeremy here, and today in the home shop we are back working on this 66 Pontiac project, and today we're using paint stripper. So if you've been following along, we were trying to sand it all down. We wanted to get it all mechanically sanded, but too many layers of lacquer and the lacquer primer that's on top, it's hogging down the sandpaper. So we went ahead and just busted everything open with 80 grit, and we're trying out today the new Aircraft Ultra paint remover. Good buddy of mine, I've known him for a number of years, so I trust his opinion on this stuff, is my buddy Chris Hartman. He's a local rep here in town, reps Norton, DeVilbiss, and another number of other brands as well. I asked him, is there any option as far as paint stripper on, for these days? Because I come from the industry. I remember a couple years ago they took out the methyl chloride in it, and it took away all the good stuff, all the great capabilities of why we love the paint stripper, and it sucked when they took it out. So it turns out they did a reformulation, and whatever they did different is now what the Ultra version is. So it cost me 80 bucks for a gallon of it, but we're going to see what it does. So far, I'm liking it, but I wanted to just put out a quick video just to explain a couple of the things that you got to do whenever you're dealing with paint stripper. First and foremost, after you open everything up with 80 grit, be sure to go in, clean everything out, and then apply it liberally to the surface. That's number one. But here's something that a lot of people wind up doing, and I've never understood it in all my years in the body shop when they're using paint stripper. They 80 grit it, they hit it with stripper, and they walk away. Why? Paint stripper in and of itself has to eat into the surface. It doesn't do anything if it's not covered, and everything can evaporate. Everything has to be able to eat in. Going through and actually taking the time to wrap it in plastic and working all the air bubbles out does a number of things. It causes all of the fumes, all the stuff, all the chemicals that are supposed to be eating away at the paint to help you. It causes all of them to actually be forced down, and they cannot evaporate out into the air around you. Number one, less fumes. Much better. I can actually be in my shop right now and I don't have my mask up because I can't smell anything. That's not necessarily the great thing, but there's less fumes. Second part is that it's actually going to force everything in, and it's going to work faster. It's not going to dry out. It's going to stay wet. It's going to stay there on the surface doing its thing. So one more tip just for you guys, if you're not using a lot of paint stripper or whatnot, after it's been on for a while, you can already see this is working through. You can see everything kind of curling up. What I personally like to do is go through, make sure you got a brand new glove, and make sure there's no tears in it, but actually work it in. Just take the plastic, take your hand, and put a little bit of pressure and just work it on in a little bit more. This is going to move the paint stripper around. It's going to help move it around into some of the spots that maybe it wasn't in, but do not just let it sit continually. If it's sitting continually, you're not doing yourself any favors by keeping it in that one spot. It's going to take even longer for it to work its way through. It's like anything else, just going in and agitating it, sometimes that just makes the job a whole lot easier and makes it go faster. Whenever you're dealing with stripping paint, it's the biggest thing you can do. Just get it in, get it out, just be done faster. So we're going to be letting this sit probably about another 20 minutes. This has only been sitting on here about 10 minutes. So about another 20 minutes we'll let it sit and do its thing. And then we're going to pull all this off and start scraping it off, see what we got. More updates to come on the Project 66 Pontiac coming soon. Take care.